to talk about here, with the time and the space that we are on this planet right now, while I oil my cuticles, is microaggressions. I really think the concept of microaggressions needs to be more talked about, more in the air, more out in the open, as it all has to do with subtle energy, the unseen, the subconscious realm, things that are unseen, things that are hidden and under the rug. And something I want to bring in, because it, of course, has a lot to do with racism and the ways that other races throw microaggressions around that are from periods of time where segregation was more popular. So we'll put the definition of microaggression up here somewhere so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. Basically, we're talking about indirect, subtle ways of discrimination, ways that particular groups of people still practice discrimination or segregation in secret, and ways that we can tell if we're on the outside of those groups, if a microaggression is being done or so. Yeah, we're going to talk about it so that it can be brought up to the surface. One big, large microaggression that can be put on display for everyone really is the fact that there used to be a law where brown people or black people, if there were if there was a sidewalk and you were walking in the opposite direction of a white person, or a white person came into your vicinity of walking, it would be illegal for you not to move out of their way. So basically you would have to move out of white people's way first, let them move first, get out of their way, pretty much. If you're brown, stop taking up space, stop taking up the white people's space. So that's something that, like, in our subconscious mind, like, I would always see my mom's a lot darker than me, so like our privileges are different, and the ways that we view and skew the world is very different. The ways we've been treated is very different. So I've noticed a lot of growing up, my mom would always like get out of the way immediately. Like, she'd act like it was just a crime to be in some people's ways where we grew up in a small town in Maine. And sometimes I'd started noticing these other people's mannerisms towards my mom, and it's like they expected her to do that. So that's what really got me interested. And I never really knew about this like being a law or anything. It's just something I noticed, that white folk expect brown people to move out of their space, out of their way. So this all comes down to taking up space and the colonization of space. And why I'm going to start talking about this so much more is because, the colonization really comes down to the colonization of spaces and of air, land, and, body. So many spaces can be colonized. So if there's only one type of group or particular type of group colonizing space, that means that only one medicine, one message is being, vibrated out into the world. Whereas, having a rainbow of spaces that are different, that aren't colonized, so that you have the freedom to go to different teachings and learn different things, that would be the difference with that. So it's just something I want to bring to people's attention, that it literally used to be illegal for brown people to be in white people's way. Get out of the way on the sidewalk, basically. And this thing is still in the subconscious mind of brown people. A lot of brown people still have it in their subconscious mind if they see a white person in the aisle with them or on the street. And a lot of white people also hold this too, like, get out of my way. This is not to bully. This is to bring things up in awareness, because I bet a lot of people aren't even aware of this, like I wasn't. I'm just a Scorpio and very highly observant of mannerisms and the ways that people are. Like, sociology really intrigues me. I love to learn the reason why people are the way they are. So yeah, just remember, when you're walking on the sidewalk and you see these things and you notice these things, maybe even bring them up for conversation, because a lot of these things are like old patterns we're replaying in our DNA. Like, oh, I need to move out of the way or I'm going to get arrested, or that brown person better get out of the way or I'm going to, there's something inside of me that makes me feel like I am entitled to this space more than them. And that's really what I'm getting down to when I'm going to start talking about more, is the colonization of spaces and people coming into space to colonize space and to distort space that really needs to be held sacred and kept proper. So yeah, microaggressions, very important for all races to acknowledge. Like, how are we, even as brown people, still feeding those narratives? Are you still moving out of the way like a slave, or like you're going to get arrested? You know, when a white person looks at you and expects you to move out of the way because you're brown, you know, these tests, like, how are we enslaving ourselves by allowing these microaggressions to still play in our subconscious mind and our DNA? So I just want to bring those things up because we have a lot of dismantling right now, a lot of death, a lot of newness. You know, slavery is being abolished and humanity is being liberated one day at a time, one person at a time, one mind at a time. As we lose more control freaks, we gain more freedom teachers and seekers. So yeah, it's important to break the shackles off our mind as oppressor or suppressor, as the oppressed or the suppressed, or the ones doing the oppressing. It's important for all of us to do our work, all of us to do our part, so that we can rid these yucky ways of being off our planet. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, microaggressions. And you know, when you see a brown person on the street and you see them and you're white and you see them running to get their stuff together to get out of your way, maybe like offer, like, you don't need to get out of my way, or how about you go first? You know, that's how we change the narrative of certain things, where we are changing superiority, not even changing superiority, maybe just getting rid of superiority altogether, or making what is superior equality. So that, like, what is the superior way of being is to be equal and to be loving and to be from the heart, to be in Jesus's way, which is unconditional love. So yeah, I just want to talk about these things because they're burning in my body. They're burning, like things that need to be talked about. And you know, people might not like me talking about these things. I'm still going to talk about them because it's who I am. I'm here as a mixed race woman to liberate people and to get what is on this planet that's harming and enslaving people off, because that's not what this planet is for. It's not for colonization. It's for sovereignty and freedom and love and innocence. So we got to get rid of these really hateful, yucky, black magic ways of being that are still running in the subconscious, subliminal spaces. So yeah, what other microaggressions can we talk about? There's literally so many. So if you have one that you want to talk about, bring awareness to, let's talk about it. Microaggressions, what one really bothers you? What one really, you know, is intriguing to you to talk about? You know, what ones have you noticed? Let's talk about it.